and pointless work. This had a cork floor on it, and this was a room for parrots. The owner had 2 parrots as pets. Parrots were pecking at the floor, and the reason why they were pecking at the floor was because of termites. So we're taking this room apart basically. Now, the owner thought there was a crawl space under here. There is not. But the pointless work is that those little white dots on the wall, which there was trim there, so they were above the trim, was where an exterminator came in and did a termite treatment. And that was pointless. It was wasted money, because that treatment would never get there. And for some reason they said they could not do the treatment through the floor. So I'll see if I can get a picture of the termites. Now this was the cork floor laid on top of 2 layers of plywood. And this is the underside, and I'll see if I can right there. If the automatic focus works. I'm going to back off and okay. You might see 1 or 2. Right at the point of my finger there. That's termites. And they were in between the 2 plies. And this is about a week after that termite treatment was applied. So this had to be taken care of, because they don't go away on their own. And it's easy enough to see the difference between termites and flying ants. Just Google termites and flying ants. It's only so close I can get with the focus right there. And that's just trouble. There's another one. Cheryl, here's a little video of your friends. Those are termites. And that treatment in the wall would never get to these guys. This is a crawl space, and this crawl space has an encapsulation, and that's that plastic that's wrapped up all the block walls and on the floor as well. All the seams are sealed. The piers are sealed coming up. And on the opposite side of this wall right there, and that's those little holes we just did a termite treatment. On the opposite side of that wall is termite damage and moisture under a wood floor. So one of the drawbacks of the encapsulation systems is moisture is trapped behind that plastic. It has nowhere to go. And that's my suspicion as to what caused the damage on the other side. So we're going to peel that thing back and see what's behind there. So we've peeled back 2 layers of plastic, one with the insulation on it and the other the basic encapsulation plastic, and now I'll show you what's behind there. And that dark down at the bottom, that's where the water comes from. That's where the moisture comes from. These are hollow block, and you'll see this. Let me hit it down there. You'll see this on almost every block wall. And to my mind, that's where the fatal flaw is in encapsulation. That darker thing right there. And if it can't evaporate through that cinder block, it will stay in the wall, and that's exactly what happened in this case. Termites came from the ground, found their way inside the block, and they had food and they had water, and the food was the finished floor. So that's we're gonna work out some kind of ventilation down here. Now, one last note: the original system, the encapsulation system, included supply drops in the crawl space, and also a return. And what the return was doing was mixing the crawl space air and everything that was in it with the house air. And part of what it was mixing in was the moldy odor that crawl spaces have from the dirt. So they cut out the return, and now they just have a supply dumping cooler air down here. But they have to be careful about that as well, because when you have humid air coming into the crawl space, and it will, and it hits the colder air, you have condensation. And you might see indications of that with a little rust on that supply. So we'll figure that part out as well. The rust down on the bottom part of that.